Today in this part we will be discussing about the rolling loads. We'll proceed further with the single concentrated load. In the previous part we have already seen about the introduction of what are the rolling loads, what is influence line diagram. We have also seen the different terminologies like absolute maximum bending moment and even the positive and negative shear forces. Now further going for each of the cases, first we will start with single concentrated load. Now what we are going to study in this is when a single concentrated load will move from one end of the beam to the other end of the beam, that is from the point A of the beam to point B. It is moving from left to right. Okay. So here we are going to plot the shear force diagram when the load is placed at different locations. So when the load is placed at A, it is seen that the reaction at A is going to be equal to the magnitude of the load. Okay, and as the load moves towards B, the reaction at A will go on decreasing. On the other hand, what happens with B is when the load reaches B, the reaction at B is going to be equal to W again. Okay, and as the load is approaching towards B, that time the reaction at B is going to be less. Okay, that you can see from this diagram. So the maximum negative shear force or the reaction will be at B here, and maximum positive shear force or reaction will be at A. Okay, now here they have taken a section at a particular point at a distance say about A from, that is small a from capital A, that is support A. Okay, so at that distance what would be the shear force at under this loading? Okay, here when you take a section here, when you cut a section here, these are the ordinates which you are going to get. Now how have we arrived at these ordinates? Okay, we will see that from the derivation now. See here, in order to find the reactions, first thing what we will do is we will take the equilibrium equations. First of all, we will just take summation of forces in the y direction and try to find what is RA and RB. We know that RA plus RB will be equal to W. Now to find the moments about, to find the reaction of RA, we are taking moment about B. So taking moment about B in this, here you can see in this figure, we can take moment about B. While taking moment about B, we will have RA into L minus W into L minus X equal to 0. So from this we get the value of RA. RA is equal to nothing but W into L minus X by L, that is the L with RA will go in the denominator. Next we have to calculate RB. So in this equation we can find out RB by substituting the value of RA. On substituting the value of RA, we are getting RB equal to Wx by L. Now here we are going to have two situations when the section X or the position of the load at a distance X from A is placed in such a way that it is less than the section line distance from the support A. That is, load is positioned within the section line in this portion, that is AC. Okay, so and we will have one more case when the load will be placed in the portion BC. Okay, that is when X is greater than E, that is section line comes first and the load goes after that. So these two cases will be existing. We will see each of them in detail here. First we will see when X is less than A. So load is positioned to the left of the section, that is to the left of the section line here between A and C. Okay, so how we are going to find out? We have to find out the shear force and bending moment at C. Okay, so the shear force at C will be now nothing but the negative shear force. Maximum negative shear force will be equal to nothing but the reaction at B. Now here you can see that when we say the shear force at this point C is going to be a negative shear force when the load is placed in the portion AC, because there are no loads in the portion CB. Okay, so here we are considering this particular instance where we have placed the load between A and C, and that is at a point E we have indicated it, which is at a distance x from the left support A. The negative shear force at any section C, which is after the load, okay, anywhere I can have this section C from E to B, okay, there I will have the shear force value will be equal to nothing but the reaction RB. So therefore the shear force at C is equal to nothing but reaction RB, which is minus Wx by L. So it is seen that the maximum negative shear force will be existing when the load is placed between A and C and when the value of RB is maximum, okay. So these are the two cases that the value of RB is maximum, okay. Now here these two conditions are possible only when, now when will I get this condition, that is load is between A and C, and also I am going to get the condition that RB is going to be maximum. These two conditions will be possible only when the load is on the section itself, okay. So when I place the load at C itself, I am going to have the value of shear force at C will be equal to or maximum shear force, and that will be equal to RB, okay. So here when I place the sections the load on the section C, I am going to have the value of x will be equal to E, that is this x will coincide with E. So I can substitute the value of, in the reaction of RB value, I can substitute the value of x as E, okay. So in this expression, when A is equal to 0, what will be my shear force? Yes, it is going to be 0. And when A is equal to L, I have a shear force which is equal to minus W, okay. So here you can see the negative shear force diagram for the entire span of the beam, okay. I am having negative shear force W at the end B, okay. Now next we will see how to draw the positive shear force diagram. So to draw the positive shear force diagram, we are considering an instance when the load is placed in the portion C and B, okay, that is in this portion, that is my x is greater than A, okay. So now here we know that we have seen in the previous problem that when we had negative shear force, that was at a when I had placed the load between A and C, my shear force was equal to RB. Now when I place the load between C and B, my shear force will be equal to RA, okay. So maximum positive shear force is given by nothing but the value of RA, and we know that RA is equal to nothing but W into L minus X by L. So therefore Fx max, that is the maximum shear force, is going to be W into L minus X by L. Now in this case, if my X and A both coincide together, that is when I say that the load is placed at the section only C, I will replace X by A, so it becomes W into L minus A by L. Now to plot the maximum positive shear force for all the sections from A equal to 0 to A equal to L, we have to keep the load at the section C and now move the section C with the load from A to B. So what we are going to do here is, the section at section C only we will shift the load, and this section C itself will move from one end to the other end. Here I am going to place the load on section C, and this section line will move from end A to end B. That means my limits will be varying from x equal to 0 to x equal to L again, okay. So I will, in place of x, I will be putting A, because my x and A are equal, okay. So substituting in Fx max equation the value of A as a 0, I am going to get W, that is positive shear force at A, support A is going to be W, and when I substitute the A equal to L, what I am going to get is 0 shear force. Since the value of A varies linearly in the above expression, we can see that above the equation, in the above equation, the positive shear force diagram consists of a linearly varying W ordinate at A equal to 0 to ordinate 0 at B, okay, at A equal to W and 0 at B, as we have shown in the figure here. So at A I got W as the value of the ordinate, and at B it is 0. So we find the maximum negative or positive shear force that will occur when the load is on the section itself. So that is at C. At this stage there will be maximum positive shear force in the portion C to B. In that portion I will have maximum positive shear force, and in portion A to C I will have maximum negative shear force. So this combined shear force diagram I have already shown you in the slide 13. So you can see in the slide 13 here we have shown you how we are getting the maximum positive and negative shear force diagram. Okay, so sorry, it is in the slide 14, not in the slide 13. So you can see here this is the maximum positive and negative shear force diagram. Here you can see in the portion CB you are getting the positive shear force, and in portion AC you are getting the negative shear force. Okay, so with this we will be finishing with the shear forces, how to draw the shear force diagram, and positive as well as negative we have gone through. Now the last part will be discussing about the bending moment. Now how is the load going to be placed, the position of the load, and also how you compute the bending moment we will see here. When the load is at A, okay, when I place the load at the support A, what will happen? The reaction at A will be equal to the load itself, yes, and the reaction at B is going to be 0 because the total load is taken by the support A itself. But as the load goes on moving from A towards B, what will happen to RA? RA will go on decreasing. At the same time RB will go on increasing. Okay, so now we have considered one situation where the load is being placed at C such that C is at a distance small a from support A. Okay, so that the bending moment at C we can calculate. Now how are we calculating that? I'll show you here. I am taking moments about C. So in the above figure, if I take moment about C, I will have, if I can take either this part or even this part of the beam to calculate the moment at C. To calculate moment at C, now I will take RB into L minus A. Okay, so here RB into L minus A. Now what is the value of RB? RB we have already computed, that is Wx by L. I substitute the value of RB in this expression. So I get this expression here. Now when x is equal to A, when I say x is equal to A means I have placed the load at this position, right? When x is equal to A, what happens here? In the place of x I am writing A. So my expression for moment becomes WA by L into L minus A. Similarly, I can take the expression for moment at C from the support A also. You can see here RA into A will be also equal to the moment at C. Now I know the value of RA. What is the expression for RA? RA is nothing but W into X upon L into L minus A. Sorry, W into L into L minus A, but I have to multiply it with A, so it becomes WA by L into L minus A. Okay, so the maximum bending moment is obtained as Mmax is WA by L into L minus A. So here, so you can see that it is obvious that the maximum bending moment diagram for all the sections from A equal to 0 to A equal to L will be a parabola, and its value will be as follows. So when I substitute in this expression A equal to 0, what am I going to get? Mmax is 0. In the same expression, if I substitute A is equal to L, so here in this bracket L minus L becomes 0. So again this whole term goes to 0. So therefore the maximum moments are not at the supports. It is very clear from this. Then where does the absolute maximum moment lie? To find out that, what we have to do is, we got to differentiate the moment expression with respect to A and equate it to 0 so that we get the location of maximum moment. So this is my expression for moment, and I have differentiated with respect to A. On simplifying, I am getting the value of A equal to as L by 2. That means at mid span I am going to have maximum absolute bending moment, and substituting the value of A as L by 2 in my expression for moment at C, that is Mmax, where I substitute A is equal to L by 2, I am getting the moment value as WL by 4. So that is the maximum absolute bending moment, that is at L by 2 from the support A and which is equal to WL by 4. So it will occur at the mid span. And here I have shown another ordinate, that is WA upon L minus L into L minus A. So this ordinate is possible at a section A from the support capital A, that is this A and D. Okay. So if I take a section here and substitute the values of x as A, this is what is the ordinate I am going to get. So this is how the bending moment diagram is obtained. So you can see that the bending moment diagram is not for, as you have been earlier finding out, for a simply supported beam with a point load at the center or at anywhere, you had a triangular shape. But since the load moves from one end to the other, at every position if you go on plotting the bending moment, it will be a parabola like this. Hence the representation is a parabola in the for the bending moment diagram. Okay. So here we shall stop with this for this presentation. In the next presentation I will be discussing about the uniformly distributed loads, and in that we have two cases. One is uniformly distributed load shorter than the span, and the other is uniformly distributed load longer than the span. So these two cases will be dealing in the next part, that is part 3. Till then, thank you.